投降的人是你。
你们快走！
马上布防。
动手！追放！你是张太子殷圣，杀了不杀兄，主人还在替他卖命。
哼！在此，因受事我忠。如果我小不谋反，
你这个老……
拿到封神榜，不管指日不远了。
真的要做殷商？
So let's watch the summary of Creation of God, Episode 2, Demon Fox. Everyone, the story begins on Mount Kunlun. All the gods are gathered after Nazi and Jiang Ziya brought Yincha's corpse, the son of King Su, there to ask the gods on Mount Kunlun for help. At that moment, Nazi begins to pressure the gods, saying that if they can't help, they should say so quickly, because there isn't much time. Jiang Ziya also forbade Nazi from arguing and asked the gods to help Yincha. But among all the gods, some told the god Jiang Ziya, or the Jade Emperor, that resurrecting the dead is against the natural order and will inevitably cause misfortune. Then the Jade Emperor examined Yincha's body and reviewed his past actions. After reviewing, the Jade Emperor said that Yincha was the last hope of the Chinese royal family, capable of becoming an emperor who could prevent war, or at least appoint gods and Taoist masters. He was the hope of both the human world and heaven. Then the Jade Emperor began to perform the ritual to resurrect Yincha, but shortly after, other gods told the Jade Emperor that Yincha was absorbing the god's energy. He would soon absorb it. All at that time, the Jade Emperor did not stop the ritual, willingly sacrificing his own energy, causing his hair to turn white. Yincha, meanwhile, was full of self-doubt. Back in the royal palace, General Winsong, whose people, the Shang Dynasty Emperor's subjects, had been missing for 10 years, returned from the Northern Sea War, bringing 4 generals with him. When Winsong met King Su, he returned his seal of office, but King Su was worried about his injuries from the war with Jiua, so he explained what happened and placed the blame on Jiua, who had attempted to assassinate the king and had been plotting a rebellion. Su ordered Winsong to go to Ziking to apprehend Jiua, but at that time, Winsong resigned, claiming that he was old and tired. Upon hearing this, Su was enraged, but the king whispered different words to his advisor, who then said to Winsong that if Winsong was no longer loyal to the kingdom, the king would not force him. The Shang dynasty had fallen, regardless of the king's popularity with the people. Upon hearing this, the female general, Tang Cheni, decided to accept the mission. Tang Cheni was the daughter of General Tang Jij, who had trained her in warfare since childhood and whom she wished to emulate. Upon hearing this, the king called Tang Cheni closer. Tang Cheni stated that she would set out with 500 cavalry and 4 generals. If she failed to capture Jiua, she would die. The king then gave Tang Cheni her battle attire and sent her to fight for the Shang dynasty. When Tang Cheni put on her armor, she showed it to the 4 giants, and the 4 giants and their armies began to roar. Back in Ziking, after Ji Chang's death, on the day of his funeral, the king sent a representative to meet Jiua and confront him before Ji Chang's memorial tablet. This was because they knew the king would kill everyone after Jiua's prior rebellion. The king's representative also confirmed with Jiua if he had seen the king die. Jiwa replied, "Indeed, I killed the king with my own hands." Upon hearing this, the representative showed Jiua a box containing Yincha's head and sword, the sword that had beheaded Yincha. The king's representative ordered Jiua to commit suicide, give it to the people leaders without fail at the time and the number of sensi. Planadanga replaces Jiua's why he shouted so loudly and declared he would kill them for their morbid. Jiua also forbade it after that day. The general Chongi planned traveled across the bridge towards the land of Sijet near the bridge of the river. People also built a bridge and planted sang songs joyfully. They didn't know that the general was there to kill the people and the people stronger. When they saw General Ting Chongi was a woman, they planted sang songs and played jokes nose high in the air, but at that time, The soldiers also put a rope ononi personas for Ting Chongyai forbade Iton told them to sing continue and sing faster and faster bit under Jiua. Ho is hiding nearby also came out and shouted that they were who they were, then Jiua's soldiers planted. The Brigesso that Ting Changyi's troops fell into the water owned by Onias for the four who were large. Also gathered their soldiers back to Lanto Savathan. When the soldiers off Jiua rode their horse escaped from Theriting Changyi's troops also rode their horses in pursuit until they reached a large mountain pass. But the giant who went with Ting Chongyi is only one without delay. They pursued Jiua further. When they reached the front, Jiua shouted for them to surrender on the mountaintop. Ting Chongyi shouted back that it was Jiua Wo should surrender. Then the Jantist, the war sword Namedmoli Changto fight with Jiua Soldirsent, fought with Sensias for Senshi at that time, also used lightning on the war sword at that time. The Jantoso supported Jiua's Soldierson by one when he saw sick and uncomfortable situation. Jiua shot an arrow upwards to signal his troops to retreat as for when pursuing them from behind. Best the mountain pass ahead was to narrow. He couldn't enter Rincidin. Huenting Chan Yi rode her horse Seto pursue and killed Jiua for Thurgia rush towards Ting. Chongyi and Bello is a very high cliff is for Ting's sword Changyi. It only mattered Jiua's had hit with a thunder. Then Ting Chong used the thunder weaponamed Dukong to fight with Jiua further, which made Jiua fall off his horse. When Ting Chong grabbed Jiuawo was on horseback accidentally, they fell into the Raven Bethel. Then when they fell to the bottom backhouse, they weren't hurt. Bethembeth of them were still alleviant when Jiua gained consciousness before Ting Chong Yai scrapped Jiua's hand tight lie, but his own hand didn't kill him yet. As for Jiua at that time took the thunder to kill Ting Chong Yibit. He didn't dare to kill her. Then when Jiua let go of Ting's hand Changyi, Ting Chongyar gained consciousness and fought with Jiua. Again as for that fighting, Chongya defeated Jiua by using a stick to beat Jiua to death at night. When Ting Chongyi tied Jiua up above a Jiua came out to tell the truth about the king what he had done. A bit Ting Chongya didn't want to listen and didn't believe completely, even though Jiua said that the king killed his royal family with the Fox de Monto. One power, however, Jiua told Marin Pain that even his brother the king killed and fed the meat to his father. If Ting Chongyi was Jiua, would she also be in pain? Ting Chongyi retorted that why should she believe in betrayal immediately when wild boar Renan hit Ting Chongyi. Jiua shouted and told Ting Chongyi to let him go could help, but Ting Chongyi remained firm and didn't let go complete Lithan. When wild boar Madevi tree fell, Jiua fell to the bottom and escaped from Bonch when the wild boar treed to kill Ting Chong Yi. Then Jiua went to help and when the wild boar to hit Ting Chong Yi further. Ting Chong Yi used her Yukong Thunder weapon to kill the wild boar successfully. Then when Ting Chong Yi got up from the wild boar to look for Jiua further, Jiua fell in the tree and escaped from her. Yang Mole looked for his lover this time. He also went to fish alone by the water. When he caught a fish, let it go and returned at that time. Of crows of the pavilion flew past there in large numbers and scary. And then when he saw the lover, the thunder thief flew to grab the lover and took him. Then the lover shouted for Jin and Yang Janto come and help him. But at that time, Jiua coming to help instead. When he helped, Jiwaddled Yang's Loverdo Li from their Becca's Jiua had ordered Red to abandon Sijin to go Tomanchi. Jiua would stay and protect them when he knew Yang's lover wanted Jiua to abandon the city. Ji Compo de Jiua shouted back that Jiua's army was not a rival with the king's army. Jiua didn't want to be leader in the city. It was cited that time the fiance raised an eyebrow and said to Jiua that there is a way to bring the appointment to him and give it to the king, that Jiua should not ascend to the throne again in the kingdom. At that time, Jiua sided with the fiance, and he shouted that he would absolutely not give the appointment to the king. The fiance replied that Jiua was not a fool. If there were no opponents to King Su would surely control the entire earth. Jiua replied that the king only needed him. He didn't want to let others in. Jiua abandoned himself, causing his family to die. And Zixi fell into war. He didn't want anyone else to die because of him. The fiance replied that King Su was the killer, not Jiua. If Jiua died, the earth would surely become King Su's. That's even more wrong. How can those still alive live? If Jiua willingly dies because he thinks he is wrong, he cannot be a living person. For Zixi, when the speech ended, Licensi also flew to that place, and the fiance thought it was a strange creature of the paw, which made him change greatly. Turning to look at the paw, after their failure in capturing the fiance, a crow flew and told. At that time, King Su was very angry and found a way to get the appointment. As for licency, he flew to take the fiance and Jiua back to Zixi's land. At the same time, Jiua's army acted swiftly. In their homeland to protect their land from invasion. When everyone saw them to return, everyone was very happy, and Sang Yising said Siqi was rescued, and everyone refused to leave Mount Siqi completely to fight to the end. The country saw everyone's spirit, and Jiua said that the king only needed him. He didn't want anyone else to die because of him. Everyone retorted that Siqi was everyone's home, so everyone must protect it. Sang Yising asked Sang Ziya, "Is Jiua an angel?" Sang Ziya replied that he had been an angel before. Immediately, all the kings knew that everything had already departed from there, with many troops and for more giants. Sang Yising continued to ask Sang Ziya, "If you are truly an angel, do you know any arts?" Sang Ziya replied that now he only knows how to fish. At that time, Sang Yising was very angry and replied that the enemy had arrived. What good is knowing how to fish? Sang Ziya replied that he did not see the enemy coming, only large fish. Upon hearing this, Jiua asked Sang Ziya, "When is fishing good?" Sang Ziya replied that it's best at night. King Su, at night, secretly entered the camp. The commander of the army intended to steal the war sword named Mali Chang from the giant. At that time, while the giant was asleep, Sison also sneaked inside and tried to steal the heaviest war sword. But when he took it, the giant woke up and tried to retrieve the war sword. Jiua's troops returned to the battle and entered inside. Gradually as they entered, but the mind had already decided. They fired flaming arrows at Tang Chongyi's camp. Then, when the soldiers went to tell Tang Chongyi in the camp, Tang Chongyi was not at all afraid and ordered the soldiers to remain silent and do nothing, which greatly surprised the soldiers. As for the giant, when he ordered his troops to return, he still could not control them, so he chased after Lang Xinchi again. Tang Chongyi still forbade her soldiers from chasing them and continued to arrange the troops according to plan. At that time, the troops chasing Lang Xinchi reached a large encampment, and Jiua's troops came out and fired at the giant. When it hit his eye, Lang Xinchi flew up and dropped something into the giant's mouth, killing him instantly after they successfully ambushed the troops according to the orders of Sang Ziya. Everyone praised Sang Ziya greatly, but Sang Ziya said that was just a small fish. Tang Chongyi was the big fish. Everyone didn't have a good chance at that second time. They felt great pity for Jiua when the soldiers engaged in a fierce battle. Then, when Jiua prepared his troops to wage war against the commander Ding Chongyi, the soldiers told Tang Chongyi that last night Jiua had ambushed them. They feared that they had more tricks up their sleeves, but Tang Chongyi was still unafraid and continued to wage war, at which point she struck the gong, leading the Forjonsto charge into battle against Jiua's troops. Jiua's troops were also ready and fired at Tang Chongyi's troops. The three giants used parasols called Malihong to deflect all the attacks. At that time, Lang Xinchi flew to one of the parasols, but the parasol deflected the attacks back to Jiua's troops. So Jiua ordered his troops to retreat. Then the three giants told the truth, using fire and parasols to kill more of Jiua's troops. Indeed, Jiua retreated. Lang Xinchi flew to block all the forests so Jiua wouldn't get hit. Sang Ziya yelled at the soldiers to raise the bridge to block the passage. At the same time, Tang Chongyi rode a horse, leapt from behind, and grabbed Jiua, causing both of them to fall into the water. When they fell into the water, Jiua and Tang Chongyi continued to fight underwater. At that time, Jiua killed Tang Chongyi in the water, and because his heart was unsettled, he pulled her back up. The giant used a grappling hook called Makuto to break open Jiua's camp gate. He also managed to get past the inner Gatine killed Jiua's soldiers one by one. He killed a number of Jiua's soldiers. Suddenly, someone killed the giant. The rescuer was Yincha, who had a 3-in-1 appearance. There were also different voices speaking. Professor and Yang Jian also flew there. They told their teacher who that person was. Then Yincha fought the three giants. Sang Ziya worried that Yincha couldn't win, but Professor and Yang Jian said that he would definitely win. Then, in their country, they continued to fight. Yincha defeated the three giants. So Sang Ziya said that Sich was saved. The professor called out to stop Yincha from killing the 3 giants because they were gods, but Yincha still didn't listen and killed the giant. When Jiua helped Tang Cheni, Tang Cheni didn't recognize him. Jiua told Tang Cheni to surrender to him. At that time, he took off Tang Cheni's clothes and examined her body, and he told her to take him to King Su. Tang Cheni also asked about the reasons for his surrender. Jiua explained that he had served the king for a long time. He had conquered the city of Inju. Now it was time for his home to be destroyed. He didn't want the people to die like in Inju. When things weren't over, Tang Cheni attacked Jiua from behind and killed him in order to take him to King Su. Then Tang Cheni took Jiua along. Jiua jokingly said, "General Tang, you're ambushing me from behind. Don't worry, I'm not running anywhere." And he hoped to help such soon. Tang Cheni replied that Jiua should surrender quickly. So no one would die because of him. Jiua replied that he died because he was defending his home. Does Tang Cheni have a home? Tang Cheni replied that she grew up on the battlefield. Since childhood, she didn't have a home to live in, only she was left of her family. One day, she would die like her father on the battlefield. To protect her family. That bit of them are fighting for their family. Jiva further asked Tang Chongi what their differences are. Tang Chongi retorted that wins because Jiva fights for the living but Tang Chongi fights for the dead. In the evening, Tang Chongi started to feel unwell, went to see King Suo and Suo Dajin, who then went to kill a beautiful maidservant. Afterward, Suo Dajin gave a fruit to a young girl to allow her body to live on. When the girl ate the fruit and died, Suo Dajin entered her body. But the opposite happened. Suo Dajin could not leave the girl's body. She was stuck there. Suo Dajin also told the king that her power is almost gone and she will be trapped in the old body forever. Meanwhile, Mr. Wilson followed the king's order and searched for a way to capture Jiva and kill her. Meanwhile, after Tang Chongi captured Jiva, she took Jiva to Mr. Wilson's camp. After meeting Mr. Wilson, Jiva insisted that they are not wrong because they surrendered themselves to prevent the king from killing more innocent people. They came there to negotiate. Mr. Wilson retorted that there's nothing to negotiate anymore. The Chi people must give up and not be captured. Jiva retorted that Chi people have not given up. Mr. Wilson didn't know this at all. Jiva could hardly believe that Mr. Wilson was such a person. He was once a famous and renowned person on the battlefield. But now, he serves a bad person. Mr. Wilson retorted that even if he becomes a dog, he will gladly serve the great king. When Tang Chongi told Mr. Wilson that Jiva has surrendered, he should stop killing the Chi people. Mr. Wilson gave in, but not without hesitation, and he said Tang Chongi has failed. He is very hopeless about destroying the Tang clan's family. Now, he is protecting a traitor. Tang Chongi retorted that remembered what her father said. Killing innocent people is a grave sin in life. Mr. Wilson retorted they will not spare any of the people. It is the king's order. He must do it absolutely. Tang Chongi retorted that only kills enemies, not innocent people. At night, when the soldiers took Jiva to prison, unexpectedly, Tang Chongi secretly released Jiva from the camp. But as they rode their horses away, Mr. Wilson rode his fire horse and caught up with them. He surrounded them with fire and captured them. But then, Yincha came and helped them both escape. Then, Yincha shouted at Mr. Wilson to respect him because he is the adopted son of King Sang, the son of the Sang dynasty. Upon learning this, Mr. Wilson escaped. Yincha became this way. Yincha explained painfully that because his father killed Yinchao's entire family, colluding with the Jin demons to gain power. But Mr. Wilson serves the evil king. Mr. Wilson retorted they fights to protect the great king and cannot obey Yincha. He must obey King Suo's orders. If he doesn't obey, then he is a traitor. He would rather be blind in one eye than obey a traitor. In the evening, Yincha was very angry and did not kill Mr. Wilson. He spared his life and let him return. He carried a message to King Suo that Yincha has returned to take revenge. If anyone dares to step into Shichi territory, they will be killed. After delivering the message, Yincha left. Meanwhile, when Tang Chongi took Jiva back to Shichi territory, Jiva told Tang Chongi that if she releases Jiva, she will be punished. What she regrets most is that she didn't die on the battlefield with her father. Jiva will have the opportunity to die on the battlefield for her family and her land. Then, they arrived at the Shichi refuge. Her lover thanked Tang Cheni for helping to release Jiva. When Tang Cheni was about to leave, Jiva stopped her because she has nowhere to stay. If she goes back, it's like sending her to death. Then, Yincha returned. He changed his appearance back to normal and hugged Jiva with longing. Then, he recalled the past when Indra asked Yincha, especially what his father did. He wants to remember it all without gaps. Indra explained that Yincha's hatred kept him alive. Yincha's hatred protected him and absorbed the elemental power from Indra. From now on, the automaton must control itself. If it cannot be controlled, then it is no longer itself. When fast, the automaton still willingly wins to rage and has transformed into 3 bodies merged together. Meanwhile, the emperor tells the automaton further that it must retrieve the appointment letter because only the automaton is the last hope, especially since Zixi needs the automaton to help save. When he imagined, Jiua also returned the automaton's sword to him, with the automaton saying, if one day the automaton can no longer control itself, no longer recognizes itself, Jiua must raise that sword to remind him. When fast, Jiua raised the sword and sang with the automaton. At that time, the automaton also said he admires Jiua very much, who fights for family and land, but the automaton has no family anymore, only enemies. Jiua replied, in their country, they won the war with Lord Wensong, and they will unite to defeat King Su. They will get that sword for King Su. The automaton replied, he wants it for King Su with his own hands. As for Sudaji, her beauty becomes worse and worse, and she doesn't want the king to see her face anymore, but the king told Sudaji that the wounds on her body are because of the king. She suffers because of the king. Sudaji replied, the king can choose a more beautiful concubine. King Su replied, Sudaji is the most beautiful woman. No one can replace her. Immediately, when a servant brought the torn stomach cloth inside and dropped the cloth to the ground, the king killed her because he didn't want to see Sudaji's beauty. At this time, then the servant brought Lord Wensong's message, letting the king know that the automaton, King Su's son, is still alive, and asking for forgiveness for the automaton as well, because he is King Su's heir. Upon seeing the message, King Su became very angry and sent a message back. When Prince Zixi is gone, he will return the appointment letter. The king agreed to pardon the automaton. As for Sudaji, she asked King Su, why did the king pardon the automaton? The king replied, because he still obeys the automaton's orders. Wait until he gets the appointment letter. Then the king will kill him afterwards. Turning to the place of the ghost soldiers, the ghost soldiers' master went to the ghost soldiers, who were shirking their work, but the ghost soldiers asked for forgiveness from their master and begged for a final pardon. At that time, the master of the ghost soldiers gave a jug of water to the ghost soldiers to continue working. As for King Su, he also called the army to gather and forgave them for their betrayal of the king in the past, but the king asked them to reaffirm their loyalty to the king. At that time, the king had the ghost soldiers use the jug of water to sprinkle on the snakes, hundreds of heads, on all the soldiers. To control all those soldiers. When all the controlled soldiers are killed, all those soldiers dissolved again, which is the form of ghost soldiers. To fight against Jiwa's army. The ghost soldiers also told King Su fatal those soldiers fear nothing. They only obey the king's orders. Everyone gathered and had fun together. They drank to celebrate their victory in the war with King Su. Afterwards, in their country, they took the wine to share and drink. Jiang Ziya used his axe to split the wood into pieces to prepare to light a fire that night, and Licensee used his flint to light a fire. When the fire was lit, many women shared wine with Jiwa's army, drinking with love, including a couple who were getting married. Yangjin told a woman who loved him, Fate is a god. He cannot drink wine, but when that woman fell, she kissed Yangjin. As for Songxian, he told the automaton that is how people should live. The automaton replied, he will help Jiwa defeat the king. Songxian replied, he knows the automaton's heart wants to help Jiwa, but cannot be impulsive at this time, must lead people according to heaven's will. Think big and long term. Go far to take King Su's head, punish the wicked, seek justice for the good, as the king of the world needs all of that. When he heard, the automaton gave his son to Song Xiyan. As for Chang'an, when she was dressed as a woman, she was very shy, and when she looked in the mirror, she was even more shy. At that time, the dresser told Chang'an that take her master as her husband. His share is also single. When he heard, and Tang Cheni did not respond at all. Following Tang Cheni coming out and sat next to a girl, suddenly Song Jiya saw a tattoo on Tang Cheni's body. It was strange. So she tried to look again and again. The girl called Tang Cheni outside. They danced together again. In the dance circle, Jiua also danced. They danced together and looked at each other. Then, when Song Jiya went to Tang Cheni to look at the tattoo on her body again, the girl also offered Song Jiya a dance. At the same time, Mr. Wilson here also told a method called the 10 formations. To use that method to protect his army before preparing to fight with Jiua's army. At that time, they drank the water that Mr. Wilson had made. When they drank it, there was a tattoo on their neck, just like Tang Cheni. Then Mr. Wilson told the 10 large mirror troops to fly up. And absorb the moonlight into Mr. Wilson's third eye, which made that night have no moonlight at all. To prepare to fight with Jiua's army that night. Later, when they didn't see the moonlight, they became very curious and, upon encountering them, became curious and shot fire arrows forward. They suddenly saw Mr. Wilson's army rushing their. So they declared war and prepared their troops for battle. Then, upon encountering them, they prepared troops to resist Mr. Wilson's army. Mr. Wilson also used his third eye to look at all those mirror troops and shone on Jiua's camp from one place to another. When the troops or people touched all that light, they would faint and lose consciousness. It couldn't be resisted. As for Lang Dinsi, he kept dodging those mirrors in the air again and again, but he couldn't dodge them no matter how hard he tried. And the light of the mirror was getting colder, but he flew away from there. In time. Song Jiya, when she saw that, Song Jiya went to see and knew that it was one of the 10 death formations. To avoid that formation, he must find the location of Mr. Wilson's ceremony that counts that formation to see it. And Song Jiya told the people to escape from all that light. Then, when Mr. Wilson's army arrived at Jiua's gate, they used large pieces of wood to smash the gate and entered, successfully killing many of Jiua's troops. One by one, among them were the palace guards. At that time, they threw oil to kill Mr. Wilson's troops at the last breath. Upon encountering Jiua, he came to see and, with arrows, to help other troops. He was stopped, with Jiua being brought inside for safety. At the same time, more fires flew into Jiua's camp and hit Jiua's camp from one place to another. As for the people, when they were hit by the mirror light, they started to lose consciousness. One by one, when Mr. Wilson's army entered, they shouted that they must kill them all, without exception. Then, upon encountering Jiua, he went to fight with all those troops. Lang Dinsi came to help, while Tang Cheni rode a horse to help a girl from the mirror light. Song Jiya, when he was attacked by Mr. Wilson's army, was panicked. He shouted for Na Jiya and Yang Ziya to come help him. When he didn't see the two of them come to help, he used water to extinguish all those troops and shouted for Yang Ziya again and again. Suddenly, the two of them flew and arrived. To help Song Jiya. Then, upon encountering Jiua and Lang Dinsi arriving, Lang Dinsi used their large wings to block the mirror light from all of them. But at that time, another piece of luck was that Yincha flew there to use the roof to block the light for all of them, protecting them from fainting from the mirror light. Then, upon encountering them, they saw Mr. Wilson's army below had tattoos like Tang Cheni's. Song Jiya started to understand the truth. The truth was that Tang Cheni worked for Mr. Wilson. If Tang Cheni caught Song Jiya alive along with the Imperial Seal, then Mr. Wilson would pardon everyone. Mr. Wilson only needed the Imperial Seal and Song Jiya. When night gathered, Tang Cheni drank Mr. Wilson's water. To have a tattoo on his neck. Song Jiya, when he knew that Tang Cheni wanted Song Jiya, and Song Jiya went to find a place to pretend to be dead so that Tang Cheni could take him tamer. Wilson, at that time, Song Jiya placed a sword at his waist to pretend to be dead, and Tang Cheni came to see and casually looked at the people, old and young, men and women, here, and also feared and entered to escape from all that mirror light. But at that time, the light was still shining, so Na Jiya used his large cloth. To block all that mirror light, protecting the people, while Yang Jin dug the ground from one place to another to help the people. Among them was a woman who secretly loved him. A little later, Naji's cloth couldn't resist the mirror light for long, which caused his cloth to tear little by little, and upon encountering the troops rushing to kill the people, he used his hands to fight with all those troops, while Chongi was apprehending Jiang Ziya, according to the agreement, and she was strong because she worked for Wensong under the condition of 3 days and no killing of people. When Wensong heard this, he didn't Korean only praise Chongi, saying that Chongi's father would. He confronted and obeyed the king's orders completely. When Chongi heard this, she was furious and sent the appointment back to Jiang Ziya and told Jiang Ziya to return, but in fact, it was Jiang Ziya's trick. Jiang Ziya had already given the appointment to Ji Washington. As for the box containing the appointment, it was just a ruse to shoot upwards, telling Ji Washington the location of Wensong's ceremony. Jiang Ziya also told Jiua to stop Wensong only by capturing Wensong's third eye. At the same time, Ji Wan knew where Wensong's ceremony was, and he immediately rode his horse there. And he also encountered the glass shattering from Yincha when the fire flew. The fire was also stopped initially, with Yincha giving Ji Washington some time, and Yincha allowed Ji Washington to go to Li Sen Zito escape further shattering and flew to Wensong's ceremony. But when Wensong saw him, he used his animal to kill Jiang Ziya immediately. At that time, it hit Jiang Ziya against a rock. Chongi went to help Jiang Ziya, but her sword couldn't kill the animal. She was injured by the animal, but when Li Sen, she and Ji Washington arrived, Ji Washington saw that Jiang Ziya was unconscious, and he assumed that Chongi killed Jiang Ziya, so he was very angry with her. Chongi told Ji Washington that only by stabbing Wensong's third eye could the war be stopped. At the same time, Na Chan, unable to withstand the glass shattering, continued to be hit by the glass shattering and fell onto the roof. Yang Jinsu was willing to protect one person. Then, when Song's army stormed inside to kill everyone inside, Ji Washington and Chongi continued fighting the animal. Chongi jumped and stabbed the animal from above. This prevented the animal from continuing to use fire. Then Ji Washington went up and threatened Wensong to stop the war, but Wensong still refused to stop. When Ji Washington was about to stab Wensong's eye, Wensong's sword got stuck, and he ordered Chongi to kill Ji Washington to atone for her crime. Chongi refused to help completely, even if she died when the ceremony was over. Ji Washington, knowing that Chongi would die when the ceremony ended, hesitated greatly in stabbing the eye of Wensong, because if the ceremony ended, Chongi would die as well. At the same time, Wensong's army was preparing to kill the people, but then Chongi grabbed Jiwa's sword and successfully stabbed Wensong's third eye, causing all the soldiers to die one by one, including Chongi herself. As she died, she apologized to Ji Washington. Ji replied that Ji Washington was her home. Then, Chongi told Jiua that she missed Jiwa's singing very much and wanted to hear it one last time. After hearing her last request, Ji Washington sang the song one last time, heartbroken, before Chongi disappeared. Before the song ended, Chongi had already disappeared, and when she died, Chongi's stone fell into Jiwa's hands. The army and people of Ji Washington who had been shattered were all restored. When they were restored, Nachan and Yangjin also flew to their master. After that, Yincha went back to the palace to go to the place where his disciple used to play. To close the place, the fact that his disciple was alive when Yincha brought the shattering to play, King Suo heard it and came to see it. Then Yincha transformed into a giant to kill King Suo and the three-shot Cha Jin, but he didn't succeed, as something blocked him. If Lord Winston were to cut off his own head and put it in a box. But Lord Winston cut off the heads of his army first, and then cut off his own head afterward. And the army didn't die either. They were magic, able to cut off their own heads without dying. Then he had the ghost army kill Winston's enemies, and then he waged war with the living army.